Welcome, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising to your November 2025 Astrology Horoscope. I'm Sarah with Life with Training Wheels. If you are new here, thank you so much for finding me. I hope you'll stick around. And if you are returning, thank you so much for returning. If you could hit the like and subscribe button, that would help my channel out so much. And here at Life with Training Wheels, I utilize Western tropical astrology and other tools to help guide you to your highest and best version of yourself, to help you take control and power back over your life, to see that life isn't happening to you, it is happening for you. You just have to be aware of the energy that's being presented to you, and astrology helps us do that. And then from there, it is a choose your own adventure path. That is how I look at it anyway, and my goal is to teach you to look at it that way too, because it certainly does make life more fun. I highly encourage, before you watch this video, that you do watch the collective video that I will link right up here, because I go over the main astrology for the month, and some of the things I will not be going over in this video. And the main thing is that Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, and Pluto are all staying within the same degree point all month long. So in the collective video, I go over the Sabian symbols for those degree points and what it means, and it really does bring a lot to the conversation. So you could listen to that and then have that in mind when you are listening to this, about where those planets are in your chart and how that might add some interpretation on top of what I'm already going to give you here. I also recommend that you listen for your rising sign first, as that the rising sign sets up the house system. So where things are going to be falling and most likely appearing in your life. Your sun sign would be more where you are career-minded, career-focused, may be able to exert a little bit more willpower, have more control over. And then your moon sign will be how you are perhaps feeling more at home or more emotionally in regards to this month coming up. But for the most accurate results of where things are actually showing up in your life, the rising sign would be the one to listen to. And I do have a video in the description box below about how to find your, or how to pull up your natal chart if you need help doing that. And then also just a little bit of housekeeping. I have started my Your First Astrology course, where I take you from pulling up your birth chart to then we're going to be going through, the houses, the basic chart layout with the houses, the signs, what all the planets mean, go over how to look at and interpret your big three, so your rising, your sun, and your moon. And then finally we'll end up with how to take astrology forecasts like this, or like the collective reading, and apply it to your own personal chart to see how this may affect for you personally with wherever your personal planets are, not just your houses. So that is now live. Those are courses that are being emailed out as I get them done, and it's about a 6-week course. So if you want to join for that, I'd love to have you there. Other than that, let's get into it. If you are not going to watch the collective reading, I will just go over a little highlight of what's going on this month. The main thing is that we are having a Water Grand Trine. So here in a second, we're going to look to see where the water signs fall for you. But Water Grand Trines bring us a lot of healing opportunity, a lot of emotion, but it's very deep, right? The waters can be very deep, especially with Scorpio and even Pisces. Pisces is that one love, the compassion. Scorpio is where we go into the depths of ourselves and intimacy and shared resources and things like that. And then Cancer is where we feel emotionally safe, where we store like our memories and imprints from childhood or ancestry. It is just really our internal emotional world and how we feel safe. But with this Grand Trine, we are being provided a lot of blessings and a lot of opportunities. But the other thing I point out is that a lot of time when the energy flows really, really well, when there's this big trine energy, sometimes it flows so well we don't recognize the opportunities that are coming to us. So we need some sort of friction or challenge for us to be able to see how to capitalize on the flowy energy and the opportunities. And this month we are being provided with a continuous square between Jupiter and Chiron, as well as a continuous opposition between this parade of planets going through Scorpio and Uranus, first in Gemini and then retro and then in Taurus. So the other things that we have are, we're going to have we'll get into this when we look at your chart, but there is a lot of other things going on this month, but those are the two things that we are going to highlight in this video. Okay, so I have your chart up on the screen, and so it looks like the Water Grand Trine for you is happening in your 12th house, your 8th house with Cancer, and your 4th house. So this is really a very deep psychological month perhaps for you, because the 12th house is the house of, it can be considered the house of undoing, but it is the house of where we hold our subconscious belief systems, self-sabotaging behaviors, things like that. But it isn't just all about that. It is also very much the house of rest and can be a house of healing. It's also the house of things outside of society's vision, right? So think about like jails and spiritual retreat centers and hospitals and rehab centers and things like that. So not all of those are bad, right? Especially the spiritual retreat centers. So 12th house is that as well. It is where we it's a very spiritual house and where we feel most connected to our spirituality and things like that. So this could be a very active month for you. This could be bringing on a lot of psychic abilities, especially with the parade of planets going through Scorpio here. That could be something coming online for you guys. Could be just feeling more 12th house, with it being a very spiritual house, it is where we kind of connect to the universality of everything, to the collective consciousness, in that we are all one, and so that greater compassion, greater love for all things and all people. Also, it literally is the house of like rest and sleep and dreams. So especially with everything going through here, you may have very active dreams this month, and we receive a lot of messages through our dreams, right? So this could be a very you might want to journal your dreams throughout the month. It could just give you a lot of information. You might be receiving a lot of information through your dream time, or this could be a great month. You might find a lot of blessings and opportunities coming to you if you spend a lot of time in deep meditation or things like that. So that is something to consider. The other thing is Jupiter rules you, and Jupiter is in this grand water trine all month long, and it is in your 8th house of intimacy, transformation, shared resources. So, and Jupiter is, for everybody, the greater benefic, but especially for you, as it is your ruler. So in the 8th house, perhaps it's bringing you opportunities of money coming from other sources, or coming to you in a way that you haven't earned. That could be things, but also just giving you a bigger opportunity for inner growth, inner transformation. That's a lot of what the 8th house is. It's going into your the places where you hold a lot of fear or shame or guilt around something, and those dark places that you try to ignore and try to shove down and pretend that they don't exist. This month is an opportunity to go there, right? To go there along with looking at your self-sabotaging behaviors from over here. Your programming that you have from both your 12th house and your 4th house, which we'll get into. Like, does it serve you? What are your fears if you let these programs that you've had all your life go? What are your fears surrounding that? Where do you hold guilt? Where do you hold shame? This is a great month to shine a light on those things and to heal them. And Jupiter is bringing a lot of opportunity and a lot of luck for that. It's also a great month to, the intimacy with the 8th house is all about, number one, being, how willing you are to be intimate with yourself. But if you're willing to be in your own shadows and everything like that, then you can also learn how to be more intimate with others and hold space for them while they go into their shadows, and learn to not judge. And right, because we all have things that we don't want people to see, that we are afraid of being fully seen and loved and accepted for. But if you can do that for other people, then they may be able to start doing that for you. And just learning how to hold that space for other people. There could just be a lot of other opportunities regarding starting to share resources. Maybe you open up a bank account or something like that with somebody else this month. That could be a thing too. And then your 4th house is very involved with this as well, with Saturn and Neptune here in Pisces. So 4th house is about your home and family. So maybe there's some shifting or some luck coming to this area of your world. Perhaps you're moving, or perhaps, on a psychological level, the 4th house, also similar to the 12th house, does indicate patterns that we may have developed from our childhood that we are carrying into adulthood that no longer serve us. So if you can recognize those, Saturn and Neptune here at the final degrees of Pisces, the final degrees of the zodiac, this is all a big releasing point. So if there are things that you are finding from your childhood, from your ancestry, that you don't want to carry forward, you're done with these patterns, you want to change your ancestry, this is a beautiful time to do it. Before these planets, Saturn at the end of the month on the 27th is going to turn direct, and then both these planets are going to go back into Aries next year. But so with this Water Grand Trine, I feel like you're going to be having a lot of opportunities to really dive in and deal with any of this ancestral trauma or wounding, or just discovering how you want your home life to be. Like what boundaries, Saturn is boundaries, so kind of reviewing the boundaries that you've had in your home life over the last 2.5 years. What lessons have you been learning in your home life over the last 2.5 years? And sometimes with Saturn, especially in Pisces and conjunct Neptune, we could be lacking boundaries, or we could have too many and need to dissolve them. So Neptune kind of dissolves the boundaries of Saturn, but Saturn builds boundaries around the Neptunian things, and the Neptunian things are like those things that we dream, right? That we dream of, right? Neptune and Pisces are both this very dreamy, like if everything could be perfect type ideas. It can be where we, where we have looking at where we have kept ourselves in delusion or had too many rose-colored glasses on, where we have deceived ourselves as whereas other people have deceived us. But Saturn brings structure to that. So it brings structure to learning about those things and how to put in boundaries around it, basically how to discern a little bit better when we are either deceiving ourselves or being deceived. And then, like I said, Neptune, if there are any boundaries that we've had that are too strong, Neptune can help dissolve those. But to really, you're getting a lot of opportunities this month with this Grand Trine to work a lot of this energy out and to find solutions and see what you need to do, especially before Saturn turns direct at the end of the month. So it could be a very deep month for you, and all of these houses, 12th, 8th, and 4th, all can be related to our psychic senses. So you really may be having a lot of activation of just knowing things. So it's a good month to, if that's, if those are skills that you want to learn, right? Because we all have these amazing abilities that we just have shut down or whatever. But if you spend time kind of especially actively engaging with them, you can really turn them on. But with the energy so potent and flowing so well, it may just turn on for you. So be aware of that. The other thing, like I said, sometimes when there's trines, it can be like the energy is too flowing and you're not seeing the opportunities coming your way. So maybe you're not seeing the opportunities for rest or for meditation or for rejuvenation or whatever you need here. Or perhaps you're not seeing the opportunities in your home or the opportunities that are presented to you for your own personal transformation or more intimacy with others. So we look to see where the challenges are. And the main challenge all month long is between Jupiter and Chiron in Aries. So this is a square. Squares usually ask us to make a choice, make a decision. And Chiron in Aries, this is your wounding around your I am, around your voice in regards to fifth house things. So that can be your romance, the wounds that you've had. I believe Chiron entered into Aries around 2018, but it can stem from, your entire life as well. But the wounds that you've had over your lifetime regarding romantic partners, where you've kept yourself small for the sake of others or your children. Any wounding you have regarding your children, this month is providing a lot of healing opportunities for that. Because even though squares bring tension, when they're with Jupiter, generally there may still be tension, but it's bringing a lot of opportunity, and it won't be felt as much of a challenge as, say, if it was Mars making this square, right? It's a challenge of opportunity, not a challenge of like heads butting. So this could also be where you've kept yourself small and haven't engaged in the things that that bring you joy, right? Fifth house is where we have our joy and our creativity and connect with our inner child. So maybe you've been pushing your inner child away, and this month is providing you a lot of opportunity, especially with all this transformational energy, to do a lot of inner child healing work. So those are the opportunities that are being presented to you there. And then the other way to work with this, to garner the opportunities that are coming with this Grand Trine, are in this opposition, this continual opposition as things move through these final degrees of Scorpio. They are going to be making a square to Uranus, first in Gemini, and then on November 7th, Uranus will be moving into Taurus. But Uranus is where, the planet of shakeups and the planet of either sudden insights or just sudden happenings. And an opposition is more requesting us to balance things. So you're kind of being asked to balance the shakeup and balance you going through this transformation with the other people in your life. Like, as you're going through this deep internal transformation this month, don't forget about the other people for the first half of the month. And then the second half of the month, don't forget about your work, right? Sixth house, once Uranus moves into Taurus, don't forget about your work environment, your daily habits and routines. Like, you may just want to shut away, right? With all this energy in the 12th house, you may just want to shut yourself off from the world for the month of November. But you still have to engage in work. You still have to maintain some daily habits and routines, so you can't shut off entirely. So you're being asked to keep that up. But maybe with this Uranus, there are ways that you can break out of how you have done things before, right? So maybe it can even be a lesson in, okay, when I've wanted to shut off the world before, I've done it in these ways, but now I'm going to break out of that box, that routine, that programming that I've had, and do it differently. I'm going to engage with others differently, and I'm going to engage with my daily habits, my health, and my work differently, so as to get the best benefit from what is going on. So that is really the big energy of the month. The other things going on, just to highlight really quick, is Mars will be moving into Sagittarius, so this will be giving you a lot of drive, a lot of willpower, a lot of motivation to get the things done that you want to get done. We also, on the 5th, have a full moon in Taurus, so the full moon is going to be in your 6th house. So this is going to be asking you to balance that health and work and rest, but really having you focus on what is coming to fruition for you in your daily habits, routines, health, and work environment. Okay, so then on the 7th, we have Uranus retrograde moving back into Taurus, where it has been working with you since 2018, disrupting the 6th house areas of your life, disrupting, shaking things up, changing things around, bringing sudden insights or just necessary shifts in your daily habits, health, and routine. So Uranus is retrograding back into Taurus, where it will be until April of next year. So you will get one more chance to kind of do any final shakeups that need to happen, put things into place that maybe you didn't and realize that you do before Uranus makes its entry to stay for the next 7 years or so in Gemini. So you'll be getting a chance to review and revise and shake things up here in your 6th house between November 7th and next April. So that is a big change. And then we also will have Mercury stationing retrograde in Sagittarius in your 1st house, so giving you a chance to maybe rethink things. Mercury retrograde, of course, does bring all the Mercury retrograde things like mishaps in communication, technology disruptions, short distance travel or automobile disruptions, things like that. But as well, it's also our mind and how we think and communicate, right? So there may be things coming back to you personally, or conversations kind of needing to be rehashed. And then it will move retrograde back into Scorpio as well and play a part into this grand water trine. It'll be doing that on November 18th. And then on the 29th, it'll turn direct again. So Mercury retrograde in Scorpio in your 12th house is going to allow you to go deeper, right? Scorpio is similar to the 8th house energy. It's very deep, transformative energy, giving you perhaps more clarity around any self-sabotaging behaviors that you have, around subconscious patterning, things like that, around where maybe you need to rest more or dive into your spirituality, meditate more, things like that. It also could be where more, because it's the mind, and this is kind of our this is our mind, our conscious mind going into our subconscious mind. So it could be, this could be when some more psychic abilities come online or something like that. But so that's happening pretty much all month long. Mercury will be retrograde. And then we have on the 19th, we will have a new moon in Scorpio activating this grand trine. So the new moon in Scorpio is going to bring, new opportunities, new blessings, to maybe plant some new thought patterns. It may not be something that you're aware of, but maybe your subconscious dialogue is changing and there's new opportunities for growth there. Or it could just be that you are capitalizing on new opportunities for growth with regards to letting go of self-sabotaging behaviors, or taking more opportunities for rest, or perhaps working in or with one of these other institutions that are away from society, like maybe if you work at like a jail or a spiritual retreat center, or maybe there's a new opportunity for you to go to an addiction center or something like that. If that's something that you need to do for yourself, maybe there are new opportunities for that are coming to you this month. And then on the 27th, Saturn will turn direct. So I think this is really beautiful that Saturn is the first of all these outer planets turning direct, because Saturn is really, a lot of people don't like Saturn because it can be our boundaries and our restrictions. It can tell us no a lot of times, or slow down, or it's institutions or governments that hold power over us. But it is also like the foundation. It's like when you're building a house, it's laying the foundation of the house first. And so I think it's really beautiful that that is what's turning direct first, guiding us to take all this work that we've been doing, all this, dreaming, all this letting go, and then dreaming the new life that we want, like starting to build it on solid footing and starting to build it in this Pisces area. And for you personally, in your home, starting to build the foundation in your home. But for everybody, starting to build it in the Pisces energy of, where we lack boundaries. So like building a strong foundation for the new us, the new society, the new everything going forward. I think that's really exciting. So that is really what November 2025 is holding in store for you, Sagittarius. So please comment below with how this is hitting you so far, how you are anticipating this energy going, or just throughout the month if you come back to it and comment with how things are manifesting for you. That would be really, really cool and exciting to see. But other than that, I hope you have a wonderful month. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you back here next month for next month's forecast. Also check out, I have been posting daily astrology on the shorts, and sometimes if it's a bigger astrological day, it will be a shorter video, but I do try to post the daily astrology as well, just not by each sign. So be sure to check that out as well, and have a great day.